The morning sun shone brightly, signaling the beginning of a new day in the community. People's lives had once again regained their peaceful rhythm. Father Gabriel's successful metamorphosis, and even Eugene was in the process of becoming a true man. Morgan continues to practice his Aikido every day. In this seemingly idyllic community, some people are also having relationship problems. Carol had accepted Tobin's declaration of love, yet she still felt a lingering melancholy. She had grown tired of conflict and killing. Abraham and Rosita had unexpectedly parted ways, with Abraham providing no explanation. Rosita takes it hard for a few days and accepts a new lover. Daryl looked at the motorbike riding back and worried for the Dwight couple. Although they had taken his motorcycle, they were not inherently bad people. However, the presence of the motorcycle in the Salvation Army camp raised questions. In the afternoon, Denise sought out Rosita and Daryl, requesting their assistance in searching for medicine. This time, Denise insisted on accompanying them, so they set off together towards the pharmacy Denise had mentioned. After traveling halfway, their path was obstructed by a fallen tree. They were left with no choice but to continue on foot for the remainder of the journey. It wasn't long before Eugene and Abraham came out too. Eugene had tied up his hair and actively engaged in weapon training and community duties, aspiring to become stronger. This time out it was Eugene's suggestion. He intended to show Abraham something remarkable. Half an hour later, they finally reached their destination in small-scale factory. Inside, various hardware machines filled the space. Abraham inquired about the purpose of their visit. Eugene said the unthinkable. To produce bullets here. Eugene had contemplated this idea for several days, realizing that both their ammunition supply and that of the hilltop were limited. Bullets were crucial for defense. Abraham was initially skeptical, but Eugene assured him confidently that bullet production was his area of expertise. He emphasized that with sufficient lead, they could manufacture ammunition. Abraham finally gives Eugene a rare compliment.
That, my friend, is some damn fine, genuine, outside-the-box thinking.
At that moment, the roar of a zombie suddenly rang out from the factory. Abraham was just about to tackle the zombies. Eugene stopped Abraham, who was going to kill the zombie. Eugene had resolved to become a tough guy, considering it his mandatory course. However, the zombie had its head covered in a layer of metal, rendering Eugene unable to cleave it open.
Strap one.
He could only manage a makeshift response, pressing the zombie against a metal barrel and preparing to impale it from below with a nearby steel rod. Concerned for Eugene's well-being, Abraham took matters into his own hands and killed the zombie. Much to Eugene's discontent, Eugene claimed that he was supposed to handle the zombie, accusing Abraham of not trusting him. They began to argue, with Abraham's usual sharp tongue.
To what? Stop you from dying?
I had full control of the situation.
You'd had better luck picking up a turd by its clean end.
I'm gonna allow you to apologize for saying that.
Abraham, with a temper, emphasized that to survive in this world, Eugene should understand that manufacturing bullets and planning were his responsibilities. Dealing with zombies, living people, and even protecting Eugene were Abraham's duties. At that moment, Eugene bluntly spoke up. "Well, thanks for your protection, Abraham. You've been protecting me all along this journey, but from now on, I no longer need your protection. This is what I really think. You are no longer of use to me." These words left a sour feeling in Abraham's heart. Shortly after, Abraham left the scene, informing Eugene that he was heading back home. After all, Eugene didn't need his protection. Meanwhile, Daryl arrived at a grocery store. Finding the pharmacy Denise had mentioned, the medicines inside were well preserved, enough to last them for a long time. However, Denise's attention was drawn to a nearby shelf, where names were written on individual plaques. Denise then sat outside alone in tears. She was holding a name tag with the word Denise written on it. The owner of the store was Denise's twin brother, who had tragically been killed early on. Daryl, they noticed Denise's condition and kept reassuring her along the way.
You did good finding this place.
They soon started making their way back along the railroad tracks. As they passed by a vehicle, Denise approached to take a look inside. She noticed a refrigerator but also spotted a zombie inside. Daryl, they advised Denise to give up on the fridge idea. However, Denise had her own thoughts and opened the door, forcefully pulling the refrigerator towards her. Unfortunately, the zombie grabbed Dennis' hand and dragged it out of its seat as well. Daryl, they were alerted by the commotion and quickly rushed back to help. Determined to become stronger, Denise did not call for help. When Daryl, they approached, Denise even told them not to come any closer. In the end, Denise managed to kill the zombie. It turned out that she took such a risk simply for a can of soda inside the refrigerator. This baffled Daryl, and Denise almost lost her life over the soda. But what Denise had in mind was that Tara really liked the soda. Back on the railroad tracks, Rosita and Denise argued about this incident once again. However, Denise paused and said, "You don't understand the significance and impact of my actions just now. I've received training, and I need to learn how to kill zombies. I came out with all of you because Daryl makes me feel safe. Like a brother, I want to be as strong as Rosita and be able to face the end times." Daryl and Rosita were a little embarrassed by the praise they received. Denise continued, expressing that she could have gone out with Tara and told her how much she loved her, but she was truly fearful and afraid to face the realities of the apocalypse. She acknowledged that everyone was constantly striving to improve, even though they were already so strong and smart. However, as Denise spoke, an unforeseen event shocked everyone. Even Denise, who was hit by an arrow, did not react. The weapon that killed Dennis was the thing Daryl knew best, and that was Daryl's crossbow. Rosita quickly aimed her gun towards the direction of the forest, but soon, a group of armed men emerged from the woods. There was no chance of winning against them. The leader of the group shocked Daryl. It was Dwight, who had captured Eugene. Dwight's face was disfigured, and his demeanor had completely changed. He provoked Daryl and ordered his men to confiscate their weapons. Daryl deeply regretted not killing Dwight when he had the chance. Dwight was still smug, boasting about how well the crossbow worked. Eugene, kneeling on the ground, felt terrified. Eugene had a vague feeling that someone was there, and sure enough, Abraham was hiding behind a barrel. Abraham, though tough-talking, had a soft heart and hadn't actually abandoned Eugene. Rosita asked what Dwight wanted from them. Dwight's intention was to plunder, and he wanted Daryl and the others to lead the way into their community. If they refused, Eugene's head would be blown off. Eugene was terrified and suggested that if anyone had to be killed, it should be the person hiding behind the oil drum. There was another one of their companions there. That person was a complete bastard who deserved to die. Everyone turned their attention towards the oil drums, but they didn't see anyone. Dwight didn't want to take any chances and ordered his men to check. As the men with guns advanced, it was a move that really shocked them. Abraham took advantage of the chaos and managed to kill several of them. Daryl and the others fought back in the confusion. After the skirmish, Dwight's group was in disarray and had no choice but to retreat. Daryl wanted to pursue them, but Rosita stopped him. Denise is dead. Now they have to save Eugene. He's been shot in the abdomen. Upon returning to the community, Eugene had been treated and was fine. Luckily, the bullet had only grazed him, and the brought-back medicines helped with his recovery. Eugene told Abraham that he didn't really intend to harm him earlier. He only wanted to distract their attention. Abraham understood Eugene's intentions and greatly admired his transformation.
I apologize for questioning your skills. You know how to bite a dick, Eugene. I mean that with the utmost of respect. Welcome to stage 2.
Don't need to welcome me. I've been here a while.
They referred to their previous conversation about the stages of development in the apocalypse. Eugene had been stuck in the first stage, but now he had made significant progress. After the infirmary is over, Abraham went to Sasha's house. The reason he left Rosita was that he had developed feelings for Sasha during their numerous missions together. Evening, Daryl brought Denise's body back buried in the community. Daryl blames himself for Denise's death,